Hello everyone. In this video we're going to be taking a look at an article from Reuters. Now it doesn't say who it was written by, and it was published on December 14th. And it's funny here what they're trying to do, because Orban, Viktor Orban, he's as the Hungarian prime minister, he is for Hungary. And he's not one of these EU globalist superstate shit pigs. So he's not towing their line. He's not, like promoting their bullshit. And they don't like it. So, I mean, look at the title. EU's Juncker takes aim at Hungary's Orban over fake news. They're trying to label what he's saying that's coming, as a representative of Hungary and as a representative on the European I'm trying to think of the right word. The European playing field, we'll say. Not exactly the word I'm looking for, but it'll work. They want him to be pushing the bullshit that they are, and he won't. He's a rogue element, and things that he say, they want to label as fake news so that they can just shut him down. So let's get into the article here. European Union leaders on Friday backed a plan to tackle fake news on the internet and bloc's chief executive rounded on one of the EU's chiefs, Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban, as one of the main culprits in spreading disinformation. No, he's not spreading the lies and bullshit of the EU. And they don't like that. He's calling out the EU. He's calling out people like Juncker. He's calling out people like Merkel. He is about putting Hungary first. He doesn't want these migrants, which is not even the right word for them. These military-age men who tend to come from countries where, you have that religion with the truck drivers of peace. You know what I'm talking about. They tend to like to, at this time of year, drive through large crowds of people at Christmas fairs. Those type of people. He speaks against their being allowed to flood the frickin', European continent and flood the nations of Europe. They don't like that. And this idea of, tackle fake news on the internet, that's more about going after the alternative media and only allowing certain approved news outlets. Let's be honest about what it is. See, Reuters, they don't want to be honest about it because they're one of those ones that's going to be of the privileged class that isn't going to be labeled as fake news and removed from being, available to people in Europe or shut down in some other way. The EU plan endorsed by the bloc's 28 national leaders is largely aimed at guarding against what the United States, NATO, and the EU say are Russian attempts to undermine Western democracies. China's a bigger fucking threat, but all right. And I love this. The United States, NATO, it's been deep state shitbags in the United States. It's been, NATO globalist fuckwits and EU globalist fuckwits who are anti-Russia right now because they need a fucking boogeyman. Yeah, okay. See, NATO wouldn't exist without Russia. So NATO's going to say whatever they can to fucking demonize Russia. I don't trust them. The EU, I trust them about as far as, I trust NATO, and I don't trust NATO at all. So what does that tell you? But European Commission President Jean-Claude Juncker said the bloc should also look within its own ranks in its fight against disinformation, and he zeroed in on Orbán, whose populist politics have raised hackles in Brussels. Oh, poor baby. See, Jean-Claude Juncker, because he gets all fucking drunker, Juncker the drunker, he doesn't want to deal with people like calling out his shit because, when you're fucking half in the bag, you just want to be a happy buzz. So, I mean, he doesn't like the fact that he keeps getting constantly called out by Orban, along with Merkel and many others that are pushing this EU globalist bullshit. It's so fucking funny that they're like, oh, we gotta shut him up. We gotta shut him up. Fucking, that should go to show you that maybe you should actually pay attention to what Orban is saying. If Juncker wants to shut him up, maybe he should be listened to. And I'm not talking on the note of listening to Juncker on wanting to shut him up. I'm talking about on what Orban has to say. Singling out Orban, Juncker told reporters, some of the prime ministers sitting around the table, they are the origin of fake news. Oh, fuck you. Juncker, go have another one, you fucking alcoholic. You fucking hardcore, full-fledged fucking alcoholic. You got that, like, delusional paranoid shit that's brought on by drinking. You're fucking pathetic, dude. You seriously are. I mean, right there, that... All right, oh, Trump and his rhetoric. He literally just said that world leaders are pushing fake news. But no one calls him out for that shit. If Trump had said that, you would see every fucking paper in the United States, every fucking TV network, okay, in the legacy fucking media, say minus Fox, okay, but all of the legacy media here in the U.S. and abroad would be fucking jumping on that shit. They would be all over that like there was no tomorrow, and that was their last fucking meal. So don't even try to say otherwise. And they'd be like, oh, look at him with his fake news. Yeah. But fucking Juncker's the drunker. He gets a fucking pass. Go figure. Oh, that's right, because he's a globalist shit pig, and he's on the left, and you all fucking love him. Fucking propagandist for this asshole. Fucking all of you. Seriously. This is some messed up shit here. He does that, and he gets away with it. Trump calls the New York Times or Washington Post fake news, and he's attacking all of the fucking press. Fucking hilarious. When Mr. Orban, for example, says that migrants are responsible for Brexit, it's fake news. So let's not put all the responsibility on others, Juncker said. No! That's fucking true, you dumb shit. And holy fucking shit. One of the big reasons that people wanted fucking Brexit, besides you ramming shit down their fucking throats, was the fact, you dumb shit, that you had all these migrants coming in that like to drive trucks of peace and rape young fucking girls. Don't try to say it was something else, because that was a major contributing fucking factor. They got grooming gangs all over the fucking country, which is just a nice way of saying rape gangs that fucking like to rape young female children, you scumbag. Juncker the drunker, fuck you. You are a piece of shit, dude. That's not why they voted for it. No. The grooming gangs weren't a factor. Fuck you. Oh, my God. Since sweeping to power in 2010, Orban, once a campaigner against Hungary's Soviet communist overlords, has used his parliamentary majority to pressure courts, media, and non-government groups in ways his opponents say breach EU rules. It's a sovereign fucking nation. Fuck you and the EU rules. As long as he's not violating the fucking laws in Hungary, then you can all go get bent. And the thing is they pass legislation, and that's pressuring the courts. The majority party gets legislation passed, and that's pressuring the fucking courts, because that's what they're talking about. There was some legislation, and I wish I could remember exactly what it was, but that's supposedly pressuring courts, that parliament of a sovereign nation passed a law. Get bent. Reuters, you are fake news. He's calling people fake news. You're fake news. He's calling Orban fake news, and you're fucking fake news pushing this shit. Holy shit. He has irked many in the EU by taking on the image of a crusader for the rights of national states and ethnic majorities against rules of civic behavior agreed in Brussels. Oh, wait a minute. You mean he's pissed off a lot of people because he said, look, I'm a nationalist, and I believe that nations should be able to keep their culture? See, that's what they're trying to talk about here. They don't want to talk about this, okay? Because they don't want to say that these countries have their own unique cultures. Because they do. Yes, they share some things in common, okay? Because there was some intermingling of things. But they each have a unique culture. So they want us to be like, oh, the rights of nation states and ethnic majorities against rules of civic behavior agreed in Brussels. Yeah. Translation. He is for nations to keep their culture, to keep themselves a sovereign nation, and they don't like it. Juncker backed the European Parliament when it voted to impose sanctions on Hungary for breaking with EU values on democracy and civil rights. A bunch of unelected fucking scumbags. Globalist elitist pigs in the EU are trying to claim that they have a thing of values on in regards to democracy and civil rights. None of them have values in regards to those things. They literally tell these nations that are part of the EU, you're going to do what we fucking tell you. And if you don't like it, fuck off. Oh, we're going to criminalize this shit. Fuck civil rights. Oh, because if you question, the truck drivers of peace, guess what? You're going to jail. That's a hate crime. This, that, and the other thing. Fuck you. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Get bent. Sit and spin. You know, get out of here. Don't let the door hit you with a good Lord split you. You're fucked in the head. I can understand why the person who wrote this didn't want to put their name on it. Oh my God. EU leaders earlier endorsed plans for an early warning system to alert governments and for tech giants such as Facebook and Google to do more to remove misleading or illegal content. Basically, it was going after anyone who didn't push their fucking bullshit line. And that's what pretty much came out, was that they wanted full control. And if someone said something they didn't like, they could be removed. This is the whole idea behind Article 13, besides the copyright, Articles 11 and 13, I should say, besides the copyright bullshit. They want to limit the flow of information. They've been wanting to limit the flow of information because people are speaking out against their globalist crap. People are speaking out against the flooding of all these people from cultures that are incompatible with Western Europe, from religious groups that tend to be, different sects of a particular religion that, like I said, they like to get into vehicles, they call them trucks of peace, and they run over people. You know what I'm talking about, right? So, yeah, they're sick of that shit. And you want to try to silence people speaking out against that. The spread of deliberate, large-scale, and systematic disinformation, including as part of hybrid warfare, is an acute and strategic challenge for our democratic system. The EU summit conclusion said it requires an urgent response. I love how the EU, which is not even actually democratic, it's unelected bureaucrats, is talking about fucking democratic systems when they do everything to circumvent them. They do everything to get rid of, to overrule the democratic choices made by member nations, like, Brexit. We want out. Fuck you. Oh, well, you're gonna leave, but you're not gonna be leaving, and we're gonna still control you. Fuck you. No, that's not democracy. I love how the EU, they're talking one thing out of one side of their mouth while they're whispering something else to their fucking lackeys and their fucking shadowy partners in this shit. Going, one side's like, oh yeah, we're for democracy. Oh, don't worry, we're not really for it. We're just basically going and saying, hey, we're fooling these fuckers. Don't worry. Oh yeah, no. Those people over there, ignore them. No, we're not. No. We want them to ignore you, but we're not going to ignore you. Oh no. Those people over there, nothing to see. Oh no. There's really something to see with you, but it's just us that want to see it. I mean, that's the type of shit that's going on. It's fucked up. The EU's executive plan, endorsed by governments, will hand more money and power to regulators in Brussels to monitor and flag Russian disinformation. It increases funds for the Foreign Service EEAS for this to €5 million, 5.7 million US, from 1.9 million in 2018. Oh, and this doesn't raise red flags that they are basically, they're calling it regulators, but It's an intelligence collection group. That's what this is. They're regulators. They're going to regulate the internet? That's against free speech. If you're going to regulate the internet in that manner, that's not being about, civil rights, which free speech would be one of them. It's far from it. This is about censorship. This is about controlling the flow of information. This is about labeling anything that they don't like as fake news. Okay, this is the shit that the legacy media and the Democrat left tried in the United States with the 2016 election. They honestly think this shit's going to work in the EU 2 fucking years later. I mean, you got Juncker the drunker trying to fucking push this shit. All right, trying to label Orban as a fucking fake news peddler. I mean, this is just it didn't work with Trump because you know what? People can actually research. What's fucked up is they go, "Oh, Trump lied," and they'll refer to the Washington Post. And I tell people to go look this up. There is a clip from Louder with Crowder where a guy goes to the Washington Post lies that Trump supposedly made, and it's the Washington Post that turns out to be lying over fucking whelmingly in it. Because they're trying to label him as fake news. And that's what they're just doing here. It's no fucking different. It is absolutely not different. They don't like Orban. He's waking people up in Europe. Okay? He's gaining more traction and more traction with each day. They don't like that because he's waking people up. See, they're just fucked right now. They truly are. So they're trying to shut down Orban by labeling what comes out of his mouth as fake news, which goes to show how desperate Juncker and the EU is. But anyway, I've covered this well enough. I'm just going to leave things here. If you liked this video, depending on where you are watching it, please give it an upvote or thumbs up. If you want to know when new content of mine hits the internet, don't forget to subscribe to one or more of my social media or video accounts listed here. Also, with YouTube, don't forget to ring that bell. You can find all of my video content on both BitChute and YouTube. This may not be the case with other places I upload to, but I will try to minimize this happening. You are always welcome to interact with me at any of these sites on the list, so feel free to do so. If you have anything you want me to cover in a video, when it comes to news or current events, send it right along to me. I will try to do my best to cover it. As always, thank you for watching.